everyone. Well, I have the great pleasure to introduce to you a dear friend of mine and also someone that I think you're going to get a lot of very useful information today. Her name is Natalie Wright, and she is a financial professional. So we're going to jump right in and say, hello, Natalie. How are you doing?
Hey, Juliana, thanks so much for having me. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very excited to have you because I know when you and I met, I learned about generational wealth, and you have so much to offer. I wanted to be able to share this with other people because I know they can benefit tremendously. But first, just give me an idea, what prompted you to get into the financial industry?
Yeah, so I became aware at a fairly young age that finance was a game that everybody kind of thinks they're playing, but nobody really knows the rules to. It's fairly typical for most people to grow up with little to no financial discussion or education in the home. Often, those who try to teach their children how to be frugal and uh, mindful of their reckless spending use phrases like, we can't afford that, or money doesn't grow on trees, is one we've all heard. Um, and unfortunately, these phrases tend to get stuck in people's heads and they grow up with this poor mindset that, regardless of your income levels, people will have this poor mindset. Um, so I became very passionate about kind of learning the rules and tricks of wealth that are employed by wealthy people to educate their families in a society that doesn't really value or even offer any legitimate financial education, in my opinion. Um, I know that a lot of school says you should learn it from your parents. Parents say you should learn it from school. Everybody thinks you learn it from your employers, but your HR, none of them are registered financial representatives. So there's really no place to go for that kind of information. And a lot of people don't think about going to a professional for it. So it's become my life mission to sort of bring that education to everybody.
Well, I cannot tell you enough how much I agree with you. It's so needed. I did not have any financial education growing up. And again, like you said, it's really the norm. It is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely the norm. So that's one of the reasons, again, that I was so excited about having you tonight, interviewing you, because it's such a tremendous need for people to have an education early on, right? Early. And so even, as they're going into college or have the education before, so they're making the right decisions. So it's so incredibly needed. Now, one of the things that you and I talked about and I thought was fascinating was about how the average wealth only lasts 2 or 3 generations, and how you specializing in helping people protect and maintain generational wealth. And this is something that, again, I think there's just a tremendous need. So could you expound on that and tell our listeners what that is all about?
Absolutely. So, yeah, you're totally right. On average, regardless of the amount of money that's been built up, on average, family wealth lasts about 3 generations. Really, really lucky and, mindful ones might make it last four. And just because of the way that the economy has been in the past, a lot of people are that third generation right now where they grew up comfortable and they had money, um, but a lot of that money is gone, and they're now in a situation where they need to, in order to continue that lifestyle, and more importantly, in some cases, to be able to provide that lifestyle for their children, they now kind of need to start from scratch. There might be a little bit left over, but a lot of these people have to be self-made all over again. And so, yeah, what I specialize in is specifically family legacy planning and financial planning geared around making it last much, much longer than
Mm.
that.
So needed. So again, as we discussed, so with that being said, what is the one thing, or maybe more than one thing, I guess, that really sets you apart from being very intelligent and lovely to work with? Uh, what what sets you apart from perhaps other financial planners, or so if you could give us an overview of that.
Of course. Well, thank you so much. You're so sweet.
Very much sincere and deserved.
Oh, I appreciate you. Yeah, so what sets me apart? So, people in business and even not in business, you can't throw a rock without hitting a financial advisor of some kind. But I really think what sets me apart is I can and love to do all kinds of different investments. And estate planning is just a passion of mine. Um, but my specialty in legacy planning and specifically multi-generational wealth planning is very much an untapped financial field, I think. And it's largely because the tools needed to create what we call the family bank, um, they're very proprietary. In order for a portfolio to reliably be able to last several hundred years, you have to put it in a place that has already shown that it can last several hundred years. And with all of the different, wars and the Great Depression and even the COVID crisis and all of these different things that have happened, just there aren't a lot of financial institutions that have been around long enough to kind of prove that they are capable of holding on to something that's designed to last several hundred years. So I think that specifically with my practice being partnered with New York Life, who is the largest mutual insurance company in the United States. They've been in business for 178 years. Um, they have they're a mutual company, so they have no stockholders, um, which means essentially that the whole life policy owners, in addition to guaranteed growth in cash value, also earn non-guaranteed dividends based on the business generated, which would typically go to the stockholders. And that seems kind of strange, but the cash value life insurance is one of the best kept secrets in generational wealth, and we use it quite often in our generational planning. Just because, it's essentially set up to last, to outlast the people who set it up initially. So I think being with a company that has been around so long, paid dividends over 160 years, um, they're one of only two companies that have the highest possible financial strength rating, and one of only two companies that allow unpenalized interest to be earned on funds that have been taken out of a whole life contract in loans. And the other two companies are not the same company. So there's really no competition there.
I can
But
see
then
that.
even yeah, sorry, and even among New York Life representatives, like myself, I have only heard of two or three that are doing this specific concept. So it's a very, very unique, very new financial concept.
So you really are specialized. That's, I think, one of the areas which I was so impressed and so felt comfortable. When say you go to the physicians, right? So general practice, but if you need brain surgery, you're going to go to a neurosurgeon, right? And so I really see the metaphor here. I mean, because you are so specialized and skilled, that if someone is concerned with that gender, I mean, yes, you can help in so many different areas, but what is lovely about that you are so highly capable, of being able to help somebody, particularly in that area of generational wealth. Now, tell me a little bit about some of how people can get to know you better. I know you have a wonderful discovery call, or I'll let you explain that, and then you have seminars. So if you could share now about both of those, and then definitely how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah, definitely. So I do seminars. I speak for women's groups a lot. I don't work primarily or only with women, but primarily women. Um, and I speak a lot on the family banking concept, which is, of course, a financial arrangement in a familial setting designed to provide resources for oneself and family members in various needs. Let's see how they can reach out to me. So you can reach my office at 801-889-5757. You can text my office at 321 399-1009. And you can email me at nwright, WRIGHT, 01 at ft.newyorklife.com.
Excellent. And if you could expand a little bit more about, and I'm sorry, I don't know the right term other than discovery and discovery call of what that, so someone would know how long it would take, what does that entail, what they'll walk away with.
Sure. Yeah. So, the first, my services are completely complimentary. I do not charge fees. I think that, I'm very much an education first firm, so we do not charge fees. The discovery call would largely just be getting to know each other. It's usually about 45 minutes to an hour, where we just kind of talk about what your financial goals are, what, your perfect financial retirement and what you want your legacy to be. We're going to talk about what principles you would like to continue on in your family, and just all those kind of things, what's important to you. And we're going to sort of take a look at what you already have set up, because it plays very friendly with things that are already set up. So we'll kind of take that and take inventory of that, assess any gaps that might exist, and put together a plan to get you where you need to be and see what's missing between what you've got and where your goals are.
I love that. I can think of perhaps a dozen friends that need this. And one of the reasons that I was so excited about having you on today, that this is a great service you're doing. And again, it is totally complimentary. And I love your style, very relaxed style, and you have a servant's heart. So I so appreciate you. And I know that anyone that gets to know you will feel the same as I do and appreciate your level of professionalism. And just a great person too. so
Thank you so much.
One last thing before we close. So you said you were speaking, that you speak at women's groups. So if a women's group or any type of group wanted to have a speaker, then they can reach out to you for that, correct?
Absolutely, I would love to. Yeah, I've made a lot of my professional friends at women's groups, specifically speaking. So I would love to come and meet everybody and share, some of this information.
Tremendous. Well, again, thank you, Natalie, for coming on today. I know this is going to be very well received, and I cannot thank you enough. And I'm looking forward for my family to be able to reap the benefits of your knowledge. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you.
Bye-bye.